Alright everybody, we are still going with the countdown until Bonanza launches. We have covered 7 questions, 6 enemies, 5 fractones, and now we're going back a little bit more into the story and speculation as we cover 4 fossils that we already see in the coverage, and what the widespread use of these fossils and fossilized creatures seems to suggest for the game as a whole. If you like these kinds of countdowns and want me to keep going, let me know. As we saw with the enemies video, the most common skeletons that we're going to see are these gold crocoid skeletons. Well, they're the skeletons inside the crocoids, but are they really the crocoids themselves? They seem to be powering the crocoids, but they look a lot more similar to Kremlings proper. And this is a lot of the evidence that we're seeing that there's something a little bit more Kremling-like that's in store for us as we get partway through the story. Almost all of the enemies, at least those that are large enough for it to make sense visually, seem to be powered on the inside by gold-plated fossilized skeletons. And it ties into the strange altered timeline and possession mechanic that seems to be going on with the story. We have a lot of old enemies from Donkey Kong games that seem to have been fossilized and buried here, but that are on their way to waking up. They're taking on new forms, and there's some suggestion that a certain somebody may in fact be coming here to resurrect his old family. Gameplay-wise, what's great about all of these golden skeletons is that in the game, gold actually acts like an explosive, a lot like the boom rock. So when you have a chance to punch one of these skeletons into another enemy or a wall, you're going to see a really satisfying explosion that will help you defeat other enemies and uncover new secrets. While those Kremling skeletons are by far the most common, I found in the footage a few other ones, including this monkey enemy that looks a lot like a clay monkey head, and as Donkey Kong bashes through it, we can see that it's being animated by a golden monkey skull. So it's not just crocodilians that we're going to be seeing the insides of here. We've got other types of fossils as well. Another kind of enemy that I didn't have the chance to talk about in the other video are these spherical guys. What's interesting is that on the outside, they just look like general rock spheres. But when we bust them open, we can see that they're actually nautiloids. Their golden skeleton on the inside is a nautilus. And we're seeing this motif crop up throughout the game. The maps have little nautiluses on them. We can collect fossils that are nautiloids. Some people are speculating that this is directly related to the northern Kremisphere from the earlier games. Yet another suggestion that the Kremlings and King K. Rool are in fact on their way back. With all of this nautilus imagery and from some of the other fossils that we're going to be collecting, it's almost like this world got buried under the ocean. And that may in fact be the case. From everything we've seen so far, we're not just digging down into the planet core, we're following water down into the planet core. At least in the early levels, we're trying to fix the water shortage. That seems to be the first quest you get. And it looks an awful lot like we're underneath a whirlpool of an ocean, even though we're also deep underground somehow. I don't know if the quest is going to change as we continue to dive deeper down, but it's clear that from a visual perspective, the designers are really leaning into this idea of a fossilized seabed, and it might have story implications as well. And the last fossil we're going to talk about is this one of a Gnawty, the beaver enemy from the Donkey Kong Rare games. And this is a unique fossil within the footage because I don't entirely understand where it's coming from. It seems to be exploding out of the crocoid as you explode it with this pig bomb looking enemy. But I don't think we've seen these kinds of fossils crop up out of these enemies before. We see that there's still a golden skeleton underneath the crocoid, so it's not from that. And it doesn't look like the kinds of fossils you collect to trade in for outfits either. Those all have a blue sheen to them, and they look like pretty generic fossils without any kind of specific character reference. So what is this fossil of a Gnawty actually doing? It seems like it's hovering over Donkey Kong's head like it is something we're collecting, but we don't know how it fits into any of the other collectibles that we've seen so far. Either way, it's more evidence that this design team is really respecting the Rare era of Donkey Kong, and it contributes to that speculation that we're not just going to have some side characters from the Rare era and references to it, but that there is a deeper level to this world building, that the Rare era got buried underneath the world in some way. It got frozen in time, and that maybe, just maybe, there's the possibility that some of this is going to be resurrected in a way that shows these characters in a more familiar light. But we're just going to have to wait and see. It won't be much longer now. Well, that was my 4 fossil breakdown to keep us going until Donkey Kong Bonanza launches. If you like these videos and want me to keep going, let me know. And subscribe so we can continue to learn about Donkey Kong Bonanza together.